Hello, people. We are going live as always. So, we will wait for about 2 minutes, then we will start. As always, the thumbnail that was some kind of melon. So, it's similar to can- cantaloupe, the green one, but the outer shell is much crunchier. So, I think everything is working. Now we're just waiting for for people to get in the room. I know the post that I did on Twitter. Let's call it Twitter. Uh, what did I put down? Hold on here. I put down their clickbait, but their life faggot land. Um Trump is Jesus, come in their butt, and ignorance is a superpower. Hmm. But if you look at the title for the live stream, it should be something different, right? Social media, then business on Whop, transparency and privacy, VPN. And why did I do the clickbait topics in that way, especially on X? I will tell you in a little bit when the live stream starts. But those are the topics we will be discussing today, my friend. Social media, business on what, transparency, privacy, and VPN. Okay, let's start. Social media. As we know, uh, if you have been paying attention, my friend, social media for the last couple of months, I think the censorship started ramping up about a month or two ago. And I spend a lot of time on X rather than YouTube or, I mean, Rumble. They're pretty straightforward. Odyssey, the same way. But when people are being censored, I what I did was I started a thread, and all of the accounts that were suspended or outright banned, I collect them and I put it in. I put it there for people to see. Uh, Sometimes they don't tell you the reason, and if they do, they are very very vague. And the reason why I think that is because when they give you a straight answer, then you can counter it. You can contest it. But when they give you a vague answer, and considering everything is AI, so you can blame it on the AI for flagging. Now you need a human review. So the future with social media, I mean, if you still think that X is for freedom of speech, um, to me, it's all BS. It was a show, and I treat it as a person. When, for example, a country to me is a person, a social media such as Twitter is a person, a business is a person. So before I go on, just want to tell you how my mind, how I operate. And with Elon, you not just Elon, Trump, it's when we get into the political world, when we get into business, you know, if you start paying attention, people say what they say, and there's nothing backing it up. It's like, mm, they're not trustworthy, put it that way. But the fact is, they have social status, they have money, and that is what people are looking for. you can be a liar, you can be a murderer, you can be a tyrant. As long as you have money, as long as you have a big followers, you can tell people a cat is a dog and a dog is a cat, and people still listen. That's the world that we're operating in, and where we're heading pretty much is hyper gambling. Hyper gambling. So everything that Trump is doing, I want to get this off my chest. Tweeting like he's Jesus. Um, whatever whatever he's tweeting, you have to think the people around him and how people are betting on the poly market. CoffeeZilla did a video of insider trading. Even the administration before that, and now with the Trump administration, everything is blatant. So either America is done or America is going to need a major, major, major reform. And as of this point, I don't know where it's going to go. But let's go back to social media, okay? So we know that people are being censored on X, and I compile a list of cases, and not just social media, but digital banking, and and crypto. They are using the same tactic, my friend. Meaning, when they freeze your money, when the problem I have with what they're doing is, you're guilty. Now you have to prove yourself to be innocent, and to me that is so absurd. It's crazy. So that is the problem. What is the solution, Con? Well, the solution is, it's actually quite simple. You can stop using it, but I guess you and I, everyone on there, we're all addicts. We gotta get some of those dopamine. Give me some of those notification. Did you know, my friend? Did you know that there was a study? The notification that you get on your iPhone, they're not just alerts, but it creates dopamine. And there was a study that was done, and it wasn't random. Sure, if you don't think about it, you're like, oh, it's random, it's an alert. Well, what like how can it go wrong? It's just an alert. But the thing is, we are living in a time where time is currency, distraction. And when people are being distracted, they cannot make decision, or especially a logical decision. That is why people doom scrolling hours and hours. I know, I'm included. I'm just saying, I see the problem. I'm working on it. Okay, I'm working on it. And these notification, you got to turn them off or control it. But when you start observing the little things in life, from social media, the news, and even events, if you start paying attention, they're not random. you know Even when you turn on your, like, these are for the boomers and the millennials like myself. I remember growing up, television was the thing, and everything that I saw on television, how the image of America, that was how America was shaped in my mind. And it wasn't random. Like, all of these are strategically put there, from commercials, from shows, from movies, music, you name it. Hollywood, porn industry, social media, mainstream media, um, when you start paying attention, everything is intentional, not accidental. And that is the matrix. So the problem, that's the problem. You have to be able to be aware of what's going on. Now, I want to strictly focus on social media, especially on X right now. They are saying that they are clearing out the bots. But remember when Elon came and bought Twitter, and he said that was supposed to be the first mission was to get rid of the bots. Um, you know, it ended up not being true. There are more bots. They are, uh, and this is my opinion. But I remember when during the Biden administration, and then I think Trump came into the presidential office in 2026. But Elon was playing both sides, like because he knew that if he replied to a comment or if he share a comment or a post, they that individual would get boost automatically. And I remember during the Biden administration, he, either he was trying to be the middle or he was playing both sides by promoting, people on the left and people on the right, whether his intention was to be in the middle or whether his intention was to, create engagement. But I'm telling you this because when at that time when I was paying attention, I was like, bro, what you're saying is not even true. You're not even doing what you said you were gonna do, especially with the free speech absolutist thing. And then we found out about the video game, just the minor things. Um, uh, I've recently learned about the word hentai, or the Japanese word for porn. Um, it doesn't have to do with Elon, but I remember somewhere on X there was a conversation, and he was kind of like, he's into that thing. I'm not saying that he watched it. He made a comment about it, and that's it. But the it the little things that he said, um, you know, they turn out not to be true. And then with the video game, how he was supposed to be the first, got the first place or second place, and it wasn't him. So when I said social media is a person, I get that kind of vibe from him. Um, and then what else with the? Remember, he was certain topics he's really loud about, and then certain topics he's just not. And now we're at a point where X is claiming that they're getting rid of the bots, which I do believe like 20% of what these people say, um, you know, and what happened after Trump. I mean, Trump was one of the realists that was, that ran and then turned out to be 180. And when you start seeing that all of these people, they are in one club, um, you start to realize that there's no honor in what they say. They say just to say it. And I highly recommend that you watch Whitney Webb. She is like one of the greatest journalists of our time. And what I mean by greatest is that her research are very thorough. And when you start seeing it from that side and how, you know, these people are just acting when you know, because when people watch like Trump, Elon, and all of these like tech bros and all of the, not even tech bros, but people with power and status, when you listen to them speak, you believe them. You believe them because they're wealthy, they have status, they're recognized in society. But it's actually the opposite, my friend. And when you able to disconnect yourself, disassociate yourself with that image of them, because that's the image that they are presenting, um, that is when the transformation start happening. You start questioning. You you start asking questions, and which is a good thing because they don't want you to ask questions. But we're at a point where whatever these people, and I mean these people, they're everywhere. Whatever they say, just don't trust and take it with a grain of salt. You have to do what is good for you, your finance, your business. Now, earlier I said time is currency. So if you spend your time on X, you pay for the subscription, they can change the agreement at any time, they're censoring people at any time, your account could be suspended, and then people work really hard to get their account up and going, to get monetized. And like that, if they don't want to pay you, or if they don't like what you have to say, then boom, it's gone. If you, my friend, start out with social media, I've been doing this for a while, and the whole point was to get monetized. But I've came to a realization during COVID that it was a bad idea. Why was it a bad idea? Because I just don't like it when I put all of my work into my business, and then just because I express my opinion and people don't like my opinion, they can take my channel away. I understand that if you are promoting violence, if you are being radical, I understand that yes, you shouldn't be heard, but for speaking the truth or even questioning what is wrong, and you get suspended, or you get a strike, to me that is absurd. And that's why I went with Odyssey in the beginning, and then Rumble, and then just recently back in 2024, mid of 2024, that's when I got my YouTube back, or sign up for a YouTube account. And then I think the beginning of 2024, I signed up with X. And I kind of witnessed the whole process. I thought that there was going to be change, especially with the way that America operate and companies that are within America. But it ended up with more control, more of the same thing. And that is not good, my friend. That is not good. So we're at a point where if you keep paying for the subscription, if you keep producing free content, you know, YouTube charges people premium for free ads, no ads, right? X, you pay for a subscription. And the reason why I can only speak for these two platforms because I'm on it. Um, sure, in return, you are getting eyeballs, or you get an eyeballs, but you are supporting the thing that are suppressing you, or not yet, at least. And what do I mean by that? Support the right company. And I know I've mentioned it in the last live stream. Going forward, we should support companies that are transparent. Like for example, if an account is flagged, if an account is suspended, you have the reason to know why your account is being suspended. They cannot give a vague answer and and we pretend like nothing never happened. Because if you want to make the change, if we want to make the change, we have to be the change. You know what I'm saying? And that was the reason why I went with Odyssey. And I realized over the course of my time on Odyssey, people were just on YouTube, keep doing the things that they were doing on social media, even though, during COVID, a lot of people got censored. And, business as usual. We're at a tipping point where we are going into digital, and we should tread carefully. Now, when I said transparency, because I believe in the rule of law, I believe in, as a company, you have to follow certain rules, and you know, yes, it's understandable. Uh, and for customers, privacy to a certain degree is 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 where we're going to meet in the middle. Like, for example, I've been working with some company, and you know they don't allow VPN. And the fact is, sometimes I question, okay, if I don't use a VPN, I use my computer, I use my phone, they know exactly who log on to the account, to prevent fraud. I agree with that. But that's the reason why we have 2FA. That's the reason why, they send the code to the email. That is the reason why we set up extra security so that we know exactly who is signing in, password, da 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 da. And when you travel or you are not at home, people use a VPN to protect the identity, because you hear companies all the time, we protect your identity is our top priority, but it's the opposite. It's like collecting data, selling data, um, and for me, it's just not right. If you're gonna say something, do it. Um, and I've experienced this in the past, and I've also mentioned it in my last live stream, that when when you speak or chat with customer support, everything is recorded, and those recordings should be available to the customer when it is necessary. Um, Even the chat log, it should be provided, and that is what I mean. Like, the relationship between business and client should be transparent. KYC, is it necessary? In my opinion, yes, but not where we're at right now, because companies are abusing KYC. Um, and the problem is, when it comes to with digital assets, when you KYC with a company, a lot the people work in that company know who you are, how much you have. If those data or those people leak the information to bad people, you become a target, my friend. And as of right now, you as much as I like transparency, the relationship is not there. You have to build trust first, and there is no trust whatsoever in the digital age or the digital war that we're heading into, because you've seen it. The track record. um, but there are good company out there, and how do you spot them? Like I just said, they're being transparent. They serve customers, and they they don't they they're in it to do business and to make money and to provide the service. But when a business go outside of the realm, they start censoring, watch every move you do. They want to know everything about you. That is not business. That is intelligence. And you can spot them right away. I I've recently started on Whop because of Monty Friend Capital. I didn't know that I have an account on there, but I guess I did. So I started messing around with Whop, and to me is one of the good companies so far. uh, because when you talk to customer service, they're actually helping and providing help. Some other companies, when you talk to them, they feel like they feel like they owned you in a way where we don't serve you, you know, like you serve us kind of mentality. Um, Kraken is another one. Why Kraken? As much as I don't like centralized exchanges, I also don't like decentralized exchanges. You know what I mean? At least with centralized exchanges, there is accountability. With decentralized exchanges, there's no accountability whatsoever because they don't know you and you don't know them. And the problem is that if you have bad people running a decentralized exchange, you're done. Like all of your money can be gone, right? With centralized exchange, at least there's some accountability. Sure, they can freeze your funds, they can give you vague answers, they can, request for unlimited documentation, they can make up excuse suspicious activity and will hold your fund. And I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm talking from personal experience. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I've seen it. There's, you if you've been on online long enough, like you'll understand. If you been through what I've been through, you know, you'll understand why I'm sharing it from my personal experience and things that I've seen on social media. So on X, you spend your time. When you pay $8 a month, you post your content. You hope that you can conquer the algorithm and eventually monetize your account. Speech is censored. There's no trust with social media in general. The algorithm is constantly changing, like the terms of service or terms of agreement. I would expect the moment you signed it, you know, about 98% to 99% of the agreements should stay the same. Uh, and the changes shouldn't affect what was signed as at the moment. But nowadays we don't care because we are so trained, you know, in accepting new terms, we ignore it. We don't even read it. That's the problem. It's not an agreement. It's a death contract. And at any time, think of it this way: you are the owner of the social media, and these companies are making billions. Okay, and how do you do that? You have to scrape every cent. At some point, if they are paying too much, they don't want to pay you. And I do think there are some cases like that, like social media don't want to pay you no more. When they find better tools how to make their own content, they can just do everything themselves. Like screw the content creators. I do believe there's some degree to that. Again, my opinion. So instead of being the slave where you have to pay social media, you give them power to be a slave, why not take that power back? Sure, you can still use their platform, just don't pay for the subscription. If you build a personal brand, people know who you are, whether there's a check mark or not, it doesn't really matter. But X became a place, where I don't know who created the bots, but it's flooded with bots. It forces people to get a blue check mark. So think about that, okay? Now, in order for us to take our power back, um, Whop is a business similar to social media. But for example, if you have a business on there, you stay within your niche, you build a community, and talk about the business all you want. You connect with the community that way. Instead of paying $8, because I think that's how much I pay, $8 a month on X. By the way, when I, after 2 or 3 months into X, I email or I inbox support, and I was like, hey, can I get my money back? Like, and they want me to appeal, and I would have to write a letter, and they would have to approve it. I was like, yo, I'm not even, because I paid for the 4 year membership, and because I just didn't like what they were doing. They were censoring people. Everything that they said, it weren't true. And the reason why I still have the subscription to today is because I didn't want to write an appeal. I shouldn't have to write for an appeal, um, because it was kind of like, yeah, we need to approve if you can get your money back or not. Dude, I paid for the whole year. I've used only 3 months. If I'm not using the other 8 months, just 3 months. If I'm not using the other 9 months, just give me my money back. But it doesn't work like that. It's like one of those things. It's like the little trick where they make it harder so people just give up, like a gym membership, right? If you want to cancel your gym membership, I remember, I don't want to give any names here, but in order for you to cancel a gym membership, you can't just log onto your account. I want to cancel. You have to write them an email, and most people just give up. Most people just give up after that point. So that is the reason why I still have the subscription. So let's just say that you're paying $8 a month on X. On Whop, create a community, a business in your niche, and charge people. I used to think that everything should be for free, but when you give it out for free, it depends, right? It depends. But when you give it out for free, people don't value it. When you put a price tag on it, then people appreciate it. It becomes valuable. Um, Go back to the community. You can charge people for, I think I put the price tag for $6. Why? Because I like the number 0369. It's like a clock. That to me is a representation of life, the cycle of life. So $6, right? Imagine if you're paying X $8 a month, you can pay me $6 a month, and then if you bring in other people, I can give you $6. I can give you back $2 for every person you bring in. So I ended up with four, and there's a certain percentage that WAP takes, and then tax on top of that. And with the extra money, let's just say I ended up with like $4. Let's just say I ended up with after tax and WAP and everything, I ended up with $2. You If I support your community, if you support my community, I support your community. what I do is I go in and you got to be reasonable, okay? You don't want to be charging $1 million to be a community member because I can't afford that. You got to be reasonable. But I think the average is anywhere under $10. You make it affordable. And what I do is I go and I support you. And it has to be in the niche or in the business that I'm going to be paying for. Um, and that is how we build a community. It's like you support me and I support you kind of thing. The thing that is happening on X, you know, the same strategy, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work because they control the algorithm control location by how much you get paid, and the way that you tweet. If you tweet too much, if you tweet too little, if you don't follow the algorithm, your posts get buried. But on WAP, if you focus, like let's just say you're a motivational speaker, because I see a lot of motivational posts on X. If that is your niche, and you go and you make posts, you spend your time is currency, and you post on WAP and you build a business on WAP, and you don't have to worry about the algorithm is trying to promote whatever they promote, and you're taking away your power, which is the subscription, and you put it into WAP. You support the company by growing with the community on there, and you can use the same strategy. I support you, you support me, and we create real, instead of creating followings, instead of waiting for extra monetize, you are creating a business where you are currently where you can monetize right away. um, and it like with anything, this is not a cheat code. It's a start. You still got to put in the work. And then the good thing is, instead of wasting your time arguing with people on X or trying to please people or trying to chase the algorithm, while you have a community on WAP, create a digital product. If you don't have a digital product, create a like a physical product, or if you have anything to sell, connect with people, and that is one way to grow your business without the algorithm of social media getting in the way. That is one way to support good company that are doing good things. um, that is one way to build a community and utilizing your time the correct way. And yes, my friend, it gives like monetization on social media is good, but you will always be under the control of the algorithm, because at any moment I've seen this over and over and over, people being demonetized, and the moment if that is your only source of income, you are out of luck, my friend, out of luck. So being on WAP not only teaches you how to build a business rather than just being on social media all day and post, you know, you can create actual products that even that will make you money even when you go to sleep. Now, if you already have a big followings on X on social media and you're making money, by all means, just do it, do it, do it. But it doesn't hurt to get your followers, share this kind of message with them, help them build, help them make money. Um, because right now, man, with social media, I just don't think it's the way to go. You have a business on WAP, create a community on Whop, charge for a subscription, just like they have subscription on X, but you're taking away the power, and then you put it into Whop, create a community there. You use social media, keep posting your content. The people that support you on Whop, chances are they're gonna support you on social media. You follow each other, and the only, like, the way that I see it, in order to bypass the algorithm boost or deboost, get your community together, share each other posts, communicate with them like you communicate on Whop, but spend more time, like 70% on Whop, 30% on social media. You can still get exposure on social media, and that's what I mean by taking the power away by supporting good companies. Um, and you can do all of your transaction on Whop, like, from the you can charge people to be part of your community, and it should not be free. Don't, because when I was wrong in the past, because for me, everything should be free. Yes, my business model is creativity, my comedy and stuff is still going to be free, but certain things at a business you have to charge, because you're running a business, not a charity. And when it's free, people abuse it. You attract the worst kind of people. You don't know who is trolling. You don't know who have bad intention. But at least when you charge them whatever amount, decent amount, don't make it too cheap. At least when you charge them with certain amount, they can troll you, sure, whatever, but at least they're paying for it. And if you have a legitimate community, my friend, then you're immune. Like, your community, they know who you are, they will back you up. Like, nobody can accuse you of anything. um but that is what I mean by supporting the right company, taking away the attention power and put it elsewhere. Going forward, your business and your finance is going to be really important. And the fact that we are heading into the digital age, you want to make sure you don't have one source of banking, you don't have one source of payment. You want to make sure that you are in charge of your money. If you want to spend it, you can spend it. You don't have to ask for permission. um, that's how money should be. But if you are not paying attention and you walk into the future, into the digital age blindly, you are going to have a tough time. And for me, that is my warning, because being in crypto since, like 2018, that, like, I started in a bear cycle. 2017, when I believe Bitcoin was like at 20K. you know, I've seen people, and where the crypto space is heading, and then, from traditional to digital banking, it's not very the future is not very bright. It can be turned around, but it's not very bright at the moment. And everything with the economy, I do believe deep down, I do believe that, you know that there is a possibility of a dot-com bubble 2.0, in order to wipe out all the bad actors. But then again, if that were to happen, then people that are positioned, people that know, they will buy up all the good projects, and usually those are the same people at the top. The little guys, not too much, because we're going to be so busy trying to make a living, trying to find work, trying to figure out, hey, where's my 401k? Hey, how come I can't use my money? Hey, what happened to the food supply chain? What happened to gas and oil? We will be so busy that we don't have time to react. Um, so moving on to next topic, that was social media taking away the time, taking away your power, put it elsewhere, work on your business. support the right company. Uh, Transparency and privacy. I did touch on that earlier when I was talking about, you know, between company and customer. There should be a relationship, not a controlling relationship, but a mutual relationship. You provide a business, I provide, and I pay for the service, and I expect my information to be protected, and I expect you to keep my personal information to be safe. Then we have a good relationship. And as users or clients, I want to use clients because we're talking business setting here. Um, should able to protect their personal information, like using a VPN. They shouldn't be forced to not use a VPN, right? Because going into the digital age, information is valuable. You might not think it's valuable, but the privacy war, the tech people, I mean, why do you think millionaires and billionaires don't want you to know where they live, where they go, what they do? And the fact that you don't care, it means that you're not exploring that part of reality yet. And I know some people be like, I know I talk to a lot of people, but people be like, I'm a nobody. People don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. But transparency and privacy can only work if we have a mutual understanding, like a boyfriend and a girlfriend. You know, you don't want to go into a relationship with a psychopath, would you? Nor a controlling freak. Not me. Not me. So that is transparency is necessary. Privacy is necessary because when both of those are extreme, just like anything in life, when they're extreme, it's bad for humanity. It's bad for the country. It's bad for the business. It's bad for the family. It's bad. Anything when you take it extreme or to the extreme, it's bad. And I think society, or at least I think the common people, they understand this very well. But there's also there are also propaganda in the West to push us to hate one another. That's why everything is so extreme, from abortion, gun control, from uh, gender, from I mean border. Like these are the topics that we should like in a normal society. It's not even a debate. It's just common sense. But why are we fighting in America for the last like 6 years, 8 years, or 20 years? The same topic is always the same topic. Why? Because there is an agenda to push us to hate one and another. Okay, VPN is the last one that I want to talk about. But like I said, I mentioned it earlier. Companies, the way that I see it, companies that want companies that want full control, it's bad for business. Companies that don't let their client protect their own privacy or personal information, it's bad for business. Companies that can delete that record chat logs, but delete chat log or delete phone conversations or doesn't let clients request those recordings or chat log, bad for business. It's just common sense. These are just common sense. And my friend, I can't stress enough, but if you travel, even if you're outside, I never use anything without a VPN. I don't like to go on the internet without a VPN. I don't connect to random Wi-Fi. I don't. It just that is one way for me to protect myself. It's and it's crazy that companies don't want you to use a VPN. Um, and even if you choose to use a VPN, my friend, oh my God, about 95% to 97% of the VPNs out there are actually collecting information. How crazy is that? And all of these, some of these, right? Some of these apps that we have on our phones, they mask as private end-to-end encryption, but then again, are they? Are they? So the future, I wouldn't depend on whatever these people are telling us. They're looking out for us. They're not. And if you pay attention for the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, the West America. Like I said, I don't like to speak about other country because I don't know about other country. Uh, I like to speak about America because I was raised in America and I see the problem or problems in America, and I just don't trust the leadership in America. And that is the problem. The solution is that we have to take back our power. And hey, you should check out Kim Iverson with her new the recent um, interview that she did with I forgot her name, but it has to do with retirement. And if you remember COVID, my friend, like laws were passed so that you cannot sue pharmaceutical companies, for poisoning the people with the jabs, and how we were forced to take the jab. Now is the financial institution gambling with 401ks and retirement money, and you cannot sue them. The future doesn't look bright, my friend. That is why you have to take back your power. And the crazy part when what she said in that interview was, you have to step up. I think Dan is one of them. Dan is the don't know how to pronounce his last name because I don't something bazillion because I rarely pay attention to his posts. I see it here and there. I know who he is. He did a couple of interviews, but he's a man. He is. You might not like his lifestyle, just like with Andrew Tate. But Andrew Tate switched back and forth with his words whenever it's convenient. But Dan message been very consistent about how he feels about America, where we're heading, who's controlling America. It's pretty straightforward. And he's running. He's running for I forgot what he's running for, but he's running against someone. Now, you'll be surprised that when you are at a local level, you should step up and run for a role in office because nobody's out there. Everyone's on the internet talking shit. And then once we done talking shit, nothing ever happened. Life goes on, life moves on. But when you actually go out there, you know, you'll be surprised that you might win. You might win by just a few votes because nobody's out there doing anything. And that's the crazy part. And we're at a point where America is just like people recognize what's going on, what Trump is doing. Like not just Trump, but before Trump, everything keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. Like people recognize that America is there's something majorly wrong with America. Now the only question I have is who is gonna step up, who's gonna run? Definitely not me. Like I said, I'm not interested in anything that is for me it's a responsibility, but then at the same time I like to do it my way. Maybe I'm a dictator, but at least I'm the dictator of my life. Okay, I have no interest in controlling your life, whatever, but I do want to see good people that run for government position, put America first, say something, do something, and not just say it to say it, actually do it. Um, and, somewhere along the line, as an American or even America, we lost the courage, we lost the light, and we lost the culture. And when you have none of that, you know, the country cannot exist. And we are at the precipice if we don't do something about it. Um, I don't want to give my opinion on what's going to happen to America, but the trajectory, it's pretty clear, my friend. Um, unless there is a major reform, then we can turn the ship around. But if not, it is the end of America because people go into office. Sure, there are good people, but the majority is to extract. The majority accepted money from a foreign nation, from institutions or companies lobbying, and it was all about extracting from the American people, with the printing of money, with taxes, with food, um, medicine, and psyops, water. It's crazy. We keep talking about the genocide in Gaza. Uh, Not just Gaza, but for the last 50 years, we dropped bombs on countries and we killed massive, massive amount of people. But the real massacre, the real genocide is the American people are being poisoned slowly, being enslaved slowly. A war, a genocide, it can kill you in an instant. But being an American, imagine your whole life. You are a slave. You're being poisoned. Everything you work for, you you don't own it. And for me, that's the same thing as colonization, just different wording. Citizen, just different word for slave. It's just how they treat us. So that's where we're at. And the pattern for me, at least, I see it very clearly. And I do hope that there are good people that gonna run for government. In my opinion, that another reason why I have no interest, because I have no interest, but I know that as an immigrant, No matter how much I contribute to America, I will always be that Vietnamese guy. I will always be that Asian guy. I will never be a white person. And I that is just the reality of it. People like it's not a racist thing. It's just fact. No matter how much I contribute, at the end of the day, if I did something wrong or somebody disliked me, they'd be like, "Yeah, you're not an American," and I'm okay with that. People can accuse whatever, but the thing is, the people that are running government, I would love to see real American, like American that been in America for many generations, run the government. Stick to the value, stick to the culture, the courage, the real America. You know what I mean? Like people love America or loved America, but until we start doing all the crazy shit around the world, like people hate us now. And if Americans are not doing something about it, there won't be America. I know I said it. I said it in my last live stream, and I will say it again. And I say it because I love and respect America. But if we don't do something about it, me as an Asian immigrant, I can only do what I do, speak my voice, and that is what's great about America. But talking about it is not enough. We need real people, real Americans in there running, taking the country back. Put America first, the country that was once respected by the world. So, my friend, that is all I have for this live stream. Life is good. Now I gotta help my girlfriend at the wet market selling vegetable and fruits. You never know. Life is strange. Like people want me to do something big. Con, don't go small. Do something big, bro. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm happy. Leave me alone. Okay. And by the way, how should I put this? Mm, Sometimes things can feel like the end of the world, but when you find someone that you can share a life with, my friend, it changes everything. You know, um, it changes everything. And I hope you find the person for you, uh, so that life can blossom rather than doom and gloom. I mean, I have to admit the world is pretty dark, especially if you're willing to seek the truth. But as always, we can forgive a child for being afraid of the dark, but it is a tragedy when adults are afraid of the light. Okay, that is all I have for this live stream. I'm currently practicing my live stream. Uh, Maybe I'll go again next week, maybe twice a week. I don't know. But right now, I have to focus on Whop because I do want to build a business on there. I do want to start. I mean, I have a couple of things going. I'm building a course, right? Which is the Gazillionaires Club, but the five pillars. And when you first start out, if you notice with my video, when I first started out, I didn't know what to say. I was afraid to be on camera. I didn't know how to speak properly. My grammar was all messed up. Everything was just like, but over time, but just like any job, when you do it long enough, you get better and better and better. And I feel like I'm at a point where I want to monetize, or I am monetizing. Build a community member on Whop and interact with people on Whop, people that are interested in the Gazillionaires Club, self transformation, the five pillars. Um, Even with video editing, even it's the process taught me so much things, right? 2019 to now, Man, that's been a journey. Um, and no, I'm not gonna sell you. I'm not going to be a snake oil salesperson. God, mosquitoes, flies, and and snake oil salesman. Hey, but yes, so I'm going to be super busy for the next week. By the way, I haven't done my music because I feel like it's done for now. Creativity, it comes and it goes, right? So, but I think for a month or 2 months, I every Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, depending on how long it took me to finish the rough draft for the recording. But I think right now I'm good. I gotta do this, and then once I finish with the course and get the community set up on Whop, then I can start practicing the for the final recording. Um, okay, my friend, that is that. I will. The last time I read you this. Whoa! Why is it so dark? Holy moly! Let's see if I can dim the light a little. Edit, cancel. Okay, but anyway, it's kind of bright, so I don't know if I'll just read it to you. The So we did the author, which was we did that. So this is my third live stream since I started the book, and then we got the con, right? So bright. I know you probably hate it too. I hate it too. Hate is not a word, con. So this one, energy, right here. I'm gonna read this one, okay? Energy, energy. Life is like a delicate flower itself, like a burning sun, it's guilty, like a baby, it's curious, like a star in adversity, like a lightning during a rainstorm, like a time without clock, like a wandering spirit that's eternal. It comes and it goes. So life is just like anything in life, it just is. It's fragile. For example, plants without water, without sunlight, it will die. Humans without air, without food, we die. Animals, the same way. Life is fragile, like a delicate flower itself. That's an example. Like a burning sun, it's guilty. It exists. Everything exists. Do we acknowledge it? Like a baby, it's curious. Life, right? Everything grow. And that's the curiosity. Why am I growing? But it's growing. Like a star in adversity. Survival, nature, predator and prey, food. So the adversity, it's to look for food, but we're so smart. We look for money, how to create money. We forget about the food. We feel like if we have money, everything can be done. Like a lightning during a rainstorm. I am the shit. I am the one. I'm here. Everything is just about me. Right? Because we think from a one person perspective. The plant think about itself, you think about yourself, I think about myself. It's just me. Everyone is me. But if we start looking at everything in nature and see it as one, that's a whole different perspective. Like a time without clock, everything is energy. We born, we die, just like everything in life. We born and we die. And it is a cycle, like a wonder in spirits that's eternal. Energy cannot be destroyed, created, or but transformed. Not or, but transformed. Cannot be created or destroyed, but transformed. It comes and it goes. It only comes, it only goes if we don't pay attention. But if we pay attention, we understand, but then there's something beyond that. I don't know what it is, but this is just a reflection of nature, of your life, of my life. Everything is a cycle, everything is thinking from its perspective, and everything is energy. Okay, my friend, thank you very much for watching this live stream. We'll call it a day, and I'll see you in the next live stream.